Falcon's high speed and strong combo game is offset by his poor recovery. Falcon's recovery doesn't have great distance. Here with my jump and my up B, I'm not really close to making it back to the stage. But I can increase this with the Falcon Punch recovery. By using my Falcon Punch and then holding upwards, I gain a boost both horizontally and vertically, and am easily able to make it back to the stage. To do this, you just have to slide from the jump button to the B button, and then start holding diagonally upwards toward the stage. It's important that you don't accidentally up B instead of Falcon Punch, and it's also a good idea to try to do the Falcon Punch right after your jump, because otherwise the hit lag of the move might cause you to get too low to be able to recover. Although Falcon's up B has a pretty good hitbox, it doesn't really keep you safe, because even after being hit, a lot of opponents will still be able to edgeguard you. Instead, it's best to try to dodge edgeguard attempts. Notice how I float away from the stage until I start falling, and that allows me to dodge Pikachu's down tilt. There are no advanced techniques for Donkey Kong's recovery, he instead relies on using his up B correctly. Donkey Kong has a punch just like Falcon, but unfortunately he can't use it to recover. He loses almost all his horizontal momentum immediately after punching, so you'll have to rely on your up B. But your up B is vulnerable from below, from people rising up through you, and from above, when people fall down onto you. The best thing you can try to do is meet your opponent horizontally in the air and use the hitboxes of your up B to beat them. But this is not reliable until you really have a good grasp of Donkey Kong's hitboxes. You might find yourself still getting spiked trying this. So the best thing you can do is just like what Falcon does, which is to dodge attacks by floating away from the stage until you start falling. Donkey Kong also has one of the best get-up attacks, so be sure to use that when you're below 100%. Samus' strong recovery is contingent on her using her up B and down B correctly. Using only her jump and her up B, Samus' recovery doesn't have that much distance on it. Fortunately, she can improve this by using her down B bombs. These will give her good horizontal recovery. You'll definitely want to jump before you start using down B, since you won't be able to jump if you use down B in the air. To do this, all you have to do is use your down B and immediately start holding over toward the stage, and this will give you a little burst of horizontal movement, which will make it quite easy to recover. At the very beginning of her up B, Samus has a few frames of invulnerability. This means that if you time your up B when an aerial attack would hit you, you'll completely win the trade. Using this properly means that it's very hard to edgeguard Samus close to the stage. Kirby simply uses his natural moveset to have one of the best recoveries in the game. Kirby has a very good horizontal recovery, and he has one of the best vertical recoveries in the game, but he still can increase his distance. You see in this position, he lands right in the middle of the stage, but if he simply weaves in some forward airs along with his jumps, he can make it quite a bit further. This is also quite safe because of his good hitboxes. A lot of inexperienced players have a tendency to up B as far onto stage as possible, but this leaves them vulnerable. It's much better, especially on Kirby, to up B directly to the edge. This keeps you away from your opponents. Jigglypuff can't use her up B to recover, but her rising pound technique gives her all the distance that she needs. Jigglypuff's like a mix between Kirby and Captain Falcon in many ways. She looks like Kirby, she moves like Kirby, but she also has a really strong combo game, and most of her combos stem from a forward throw, just like Captain Falcon. It's no surprise that she uses both Kirby and Falcon's recoveries. We see her using this forward air just like Kirby to get a little bit of extra horizontal distance, but she can also steal Falcon's technique and use her B and then slide upwards to get horizontal and vertical recovery. This is called the rising pound, and using it gives her the most ridiculous horizontal recovery in the game. Just like Falcon, it's really important that you don't up B early, because on Jigglypuff if you do, you're just going to float to your death. In an actual match, you're probably going to want to use Jigglypuff's rising pound at first to get yourself close to the stage. But then, once you're in your opponent's aerial range, it's better to use the forward airs as they have less hit lag. At this point, you just want to find a place to land, or possibly catch your opponent with a down air, or just go for the edge. The use of some advanced techniques can give Luigi and Mario a chance to recover in almost every situation. The Rising Tornado and Extended Up B are central to Mario and Luigi's recoveries, and I've covered them in an earlier video. For the Rising Tornado, you can easily get punished if you use it too close to the stage, so it's important to resist the urge to spam jump, and instead, just use your Rising Tornado first, saving your jump to give yourself options and avoiding your opponent. Similarly, the extended up B gives you options. Here, Pikachu tries to ledge hog Mario, but Mario is able to wait out Pikachu's invincibility frames by using the extended up B. Along with these techniques, Mario's up B hitbox and neutral B make his recovery top tier. Mario's recovery is significantly stronger than Luigi's because of the vulnerability Luigi has during his up B. As you can see, he gets hit by Fox's side smash, whereas Mario, in the same position, is easily able to beat it with his up B hitbox. Additionally, Mario's fireballs are much better than Luigi's, since he can rain them down on his opponent while he tries to recover and force them to react. Pikachu's extended up B and the ability to up B directly to the edge make his recovery the best in the game. Many new Pikachu players will up B vertically and then toward the stage, but this becomes very punishable and easy for even bad players to exploit. Instead, try mixing up your options by going down and then up, or even doing a single up B instead of a double if you can get to stage. It's important that you use your options and are comfortable going straight to the edge or over your opponent if you need to. A useful fact about Pikachu's up B is that if you up B vertically either upwards or downwards, you will always end facing to the right. And this is regardless of which direction you're facing before you start your up B. This means that you can have a couple easy ways to get straight to the edge, which is essential for good Pikachu players. If you're on the left side of the stage, you can just get right next to the edge and up B upwards and then downwards. You should also learn different ways to get to the stage using angles, but this is a good one to get you started. Notice though that it will not work on the right side of the stage, since you're going to be facing to the right after your vertical up Bs. It's essential for a good Pikachu player to understand how to up B directly to the edge, so be sure to practice this. At a high level of play, Ness's vulnerability while recovering is crippling. As far as distance, Ness's up B is pretty good, but despite this, Ness has one of the worst recoveries in the game. And this is because his up B cast time is so long that almost every character can easily come out and punish him, many in comical ways. But a good Ness player can make his recovery as solid as possible in two ways, making sure his up Bs are good whenever he has the chance to use them, and avoiding up B whenever possible. A good up B is one that ends with Ness on the edge, because this will avoid his opponent being able to simply aerial him back off and have to up B again. You can do this just by being above the stage and up Bing diagonally down into it. Also on Dreamland, if you miss, you might get a little reverse friction which will pull you up. The second way to patch up Ness's recovery is not using your up B at all. But this is often hard since our strange jump makes us vulnerable to attacks pushing us off stage. We need a way that we can cancel our momentum while still being able to grab the edge. And we can do that with our up B and down B. Notice that as I get close to the edge, I up B, and Ness cancels his vertical momentum and then still is able to grab the edge. This can really help us when we're trying to recover and our opponent tries to push us off the edge, since we can dodge his attack by using a down B or an up B. Utilizing his special fall is key in Fox's otherwise vulnerable recovery. Similar to Ness, Fox can get punished during the cast time of his up B. However, he can't rely on his up B ever beating a hitbox from any other aerial, which means that the lower he gets, the worse his options become. Fox's greatest strength is his special fall animation, which is the amount of movement he has while he's in the air after up Bing. You can see that you can dodge attacks extremely well using this special fall, so the best thing to do on Fox is up B as high as possible and then dodge your opponent either by delaying a fast fall or going straight over them as they try to cut under you. Of course, once you've done this a few times, your opponent will try to beat you to it, and at that point you can just up B straight to the edge underneath them. In the hands of a competent player, Yoshi's super armor makes up for his up B while recovering. Yoshi's super armor allows him to ignore aerial attacks while he's recovering, and even counter aerial attacks by using an attack of his own right after his opponent's aerial has finished. But 120 frames after Yoshi jumps, his super armor is gone, and landing near an opponent can be deadly. It's therefore advisable to try to avoid your opponents while recovering, and don't be tempted to trade aerial attacks with them. This is best done with Yoshi's down B, getting him straight to the edge, or his up B, which is a bit awkward at first, but can be used to cancel his momentum and attack his opponents. Yoshi's down B is also interesting in that it stalls his descent, so it can be useful against people trying to ledge hog you. It also gives you a slight vertical boost, but this is almost always not noticeable. Link's poor distance means he can often die even without interaction from his opponent. Link can prevent himself from being ledge-hogged by using his projectiles as the opponent approaches the edge. This is most often done with the boomerang, but a bomb will also work if you happen to have one out beforehand. Link can also increase his horizontal distance by using his bomb recovery. And for the rest of the video, I'll be explaining how to perform this technique. But I should mention that it's not very applicable since there are few circumstances where it will really save you. Link's bomb recovery has two main parts, the bomb throw and the back air. So to actually do this technique, Link pulls out a bomb while he's trying to recover. He then throws it just below himself so that he can back air and hit the bomb, causing it to explode. Then he uses this explosion and maybe some DI to get closer to the stage, and then uses his up B or his jump and his up B to try to recover. The bomb is definitely the hard part, but I have a couple tips I can give you guys. If you up smash a bomb, you'll know it goes really high above your head, but if you up tilt, it just goes a little bit. And the same is true of the other directions. So we have to down tilt these bomb throws, because they need to be in such a place that we can back air them later. And you'll see that if we down smash a bomb, it's way too far below us that we're never going to be able to get it with our back air. So I normally don't like buffering, but I think in this instance buffering can be really helpful. So by that I mean, as you jump off the ledge, if you hold down before you start falling, then the bomb throw that you make will always be a down tilted bomb throw. And this is because you're not down smashing with the thumbstick, it's just registering as a down input. So as I jump off, I immediately hold down and I throw my bomb, causing it to be a down tilt. The only other thing you need to do is make sure that you're actually falling, because if I throw my bomb too early, even if I get a down tilt like I am now, it'll be too far below me to back air, because I'm still going a little bit upwards. So I have to wait until I'm falling, and then the bomb and I will be falling at the same speed for a couple seconds. So now we just have to back air the bomb. And if we have a good bomb throw, this is pretty easy. As soon as we back air though, it's a good idea to try to hold the direction toward the stage, or for me, it's left right now. And this is not only so that we can try to get a little bit of distance, but also because if we do get any DI on the explosion of the bomb, that'll help out. Now it's possible that this is, negligible, not going to be noticed. But I mean, you might as well try to DI and get a little bit off the explosion. So at that point, we can just jump and try to up B. Here's a final thing to think about. Normally when you do your bomb recovery, you're facing the opposite way that you're moving. So here I'm facing to the right. And this means I have to land on the stage. I'm not allowed to grab the edge because I'm facing away from it. But what if I add a B turnaround with my boomerang as I'm doing my bomb recovery? You can see I'm actually faced to the left here. This gives me the potential to grab the edge and make my bomb recovery much safer. So something to think about.